Alright, so welcome ladies and gentlemen to the UGC League Week 2. This is going to be Team Regicide versus Team Rhythm, and definitely looking forward to this. This is going to be a fun match. So, yeah, I'm going to be your host, Cptn.Canuck, and just give you a quick rundown of how the tournament functions here over at the UGC League. So, basically this is pretty similar to most other amateur leagues' group stages out there right now. Generally, you just play a best of two. You just play two games, and you either get a 2-0 or you get a 1-1, and then at the end of the group stages, whoever has the most points advances off to the playoffs. So that's how it's going to be working tonight. We're going to be playing two games, and hopefully both of these teams are going to be hoping that they can snatch themselves both games. Now, I just realized I left my fan on in my background right here, so I'm going to mute myself really quickly and go turn that off just to make sure that it's not interfering with the broadcast, but I will be 2 seconds. Just hold your horses here. Alright, there we go. I hope that wasn't causing too much background noise here, but that should be cleared up. My apologies if it was really loud during my intro here, but anyways, we're underway. We're ready to go. So, getting into this game, we got Team Rhythm, Team Regicide, as I mentioned earlier, and yeah, this is going to be fun. Don't really have too many details on either of these teams, as this is like the second week of the tournament, so lots of new teams coming onto the scene, and it'll be fun times. So, anyways, while we're just sitting here waiting around, definitely check out UGCleague.com. They've got all the info on the UGC Dota 2 tournament, which is what we're participating in, but they also do TF2 Highlanders and 6v6s, and they have a great forum and stuff. So check out their website. Great place to be, especially if you want to play in some amateur tournaments. I think this is a test league right now, but as we go forward, they're going to be looking to expand a little bit more, so definitely if you're looking to participate, check that out. It's going to be a good time. So, getting right into the game here, we've got a Lycanthrope and a Bat Rider band out right off the bat. Nothing too shocking, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that I would deem to be crazy or irrational. However, both teams dip in a little bit far into the reserve time in their first couple bands. This is something that I try to make it a point not to do whenever I draft, just because your time in a draft is so valuable. And, you know, especially when you get down to those last couple picks, and you really want to make sure that you hit the right pick, and you sit there for like a full minute thinking out one pick. Like, you know, sometimes you need that space, and so every second counts. And, you know, if you're spending 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there on a ban, it doesn't really mean too much. I mean, bans should not be eating into your reserve time unless, you know, they're a little later on, maybe the last ban, but anyways, both teams burning about 10 seconds of their time off. The Invoker is the decision for Rhythm, not wanting to have to deal with that. Regicide bouncing a little bit back into their reserve time as they think of what they want to get rid of. Now, the thing about the first set of bans is that it's not really anything that you can target. Unless you know a team really well, your first couple bans kind of just have to be heroes that you don't want to play against. And so, you know, it's there's a lot on the table. And so you kind of just have to pick your most hated heroes and just get rid of them. And, you know, Treant Protector slipping through the pool. He's going to be the first selection here from Team Rhythm. Now, this is going to be... this is one of those heroes that's kind of just been a sleeper pick for a long time. I know Golblack used to draft him all the time, and he was the only person in the entire scene that did it. And now... Treant's starting to sneak his way back into popularity. A lot of pro teams are seeing him played, and a lot of the reason for that is because you can play really greedy in your mid and off lane and sustain them with living armor. And I mean, the rest of his kit is amazing, but that is the main reason why he is such a strong hero in the laning phase, because you can pick something like a you know, like an OD or a Templar Assassin or something along those lines for the mid lane. And, you know, although those heroes run the risk of getting shut down early, living armor prevents a lot of that. And, I mean, you have no idea how many times I watch a game and see, like, a gank that would have been First Blood completely thwarted by a living armor. So, you know, it's let's play a little greedier. But, anyways, over on the side of Regicide, we got a Mirana and a Sand King pickup. So both of those heroes taken up here. Now, Mirana and the Sand King are a pretty good combo. I mean, the Burrow Strike is a long enough stun that if Mirana is in position to begin with, she can throw an arrow on top of it and really cause some trouble for a single target. Now, that said, generally you want Sand King to be a follow-up stun to something that's a longer range, more assured stun. Something like perhaps like a Wraith King Blast, or even a Vengeful Spirit stun, or maybe even like a Shadow Shaman Shackle or something along those lines. Works out really well in that regard. So we could be looking to see something like that. A combo that's run quite often is the Ancient Apparition and the Sand King, because you can you get the Sand King to run in, and then you get the Burrow Strike off. You follow it up with a chilling, or with a Cold Feet and a Chilling Touch, and both people just kind of wail on him. I mean, it's not perfect synergy, but it works out really, really well, because Cold Feet will latch almost 99% of the time, and then you got a free arrow for Mirana, and plus the auto attack damage from Chilling Touch is absolutely huge. So after this next pickup, we might look to see Rhythm ban out that AA. But there are a lot of other heroes that it works really, really well with. Dazzle works well with Sand King. You can run any like just plain good support, like a Crystal Maiden or something along those lines with her, and it works out well. But this is going to be interesting. Rhythm picking up a Witch Doctor, and when I see this, I'm actually kind of anticipating a level 1 Roche. Now, usually that's pretty outlandish, but as I see it right now, they got a lot of healing on the board, and they can keep, it'll depend on their next couple of heroes, but if they pick somebody that can just dish out a ton of damage early on, I think they could do it. If they pick like an Ursa or something, I think it's definitely going to be a level 1 Roche. That would be pretty interesting. It'd be pretty interesting to see. Huh. Alright, they've got the tools at their fingertips here. We'll have to see if they choose to go for it. But Bane banned out by Rhythm, and Doom banned out by Regicide. Still feeling that Rhythm should get rid of that Ancient Apparition, because AA Sand King Mirana is a pretty damn scary lane. And I mean, Witch Doctor and Treant are both very defensive supports that can, keep somebody alive through that combo. But keeping someone alive isn't always, what you need. I mean, sure, you keep him alive, but he's zoned out with half his HP. He's not getting any last hits. Like, these guys are going to trounce him. Yeah, there goes the Ancient Apparition. So they make sure that that's out of the pool. And like I said, there are still a lot of heroes that work really well with the Sand King Mirana. The Bane being one of them, which was banned out. But I mean, you can run a Jakiro alongside this. You can run a Crystal Maiden. You can run a Disruptor. You can run, really anything. There's a lot that works well with this combo. Now, the Faceless Void also banned out by Regicide, so not wanted to deal with that. And Wraith King is going to be the selection. So you take out the Wraith King, and, I don't hate that one bit. Now, that said, I'm curious to see which is going to be the support, the Mirana or the Wraith King. Both of them function very well as carries, and both of them function really well in that support role. Now, generally, when I do a draft like this, with the Mirana and the Wraith King, I generally prefer to put the Wraith King on the support role, because in that role he has a much better time bouncing back into the mid game. Just because of the utility of his kit, he doesn't have to pick up too many support items, and can work towards things like a Blink Dagger, and even work into damage later on in the game. He can pick up things like a Vladimir's, or even like an Assault Cuirass if he gets enough money. So Wraith King can eventually transition into a full-on carry, whereas Mirana, she needs a better early game to be able to sustain it later on. I mean, if you've ever seen a pure support Mirana get to the late game, generally all she'll manage to scrounge up is like maybe a Manta Style and some Phase Boots or something. Like it is pretty rough for her. So we'll have to see. Now, the Slark picked up by Rhythm, so again, very defensive, and I think I like this pickup a lot, especially against this lane, because if he sees a stun incoming, he can Dark Pact and then leap away from it before everything connects, before the Mirana arrow hits, before the follow-up stun comes in. So, but the Vengeful Spirit pickup is something that I'm finding a little bit curious. It's a little bit odd. Now, the reason I'm finding it a little bit odd is because generally the Venge is run as a support, and right now we're already seeing some carry role heroes. So what I'm actually thinking now is that we might have a Mirana in the mid, and then a Sand King, Vengeful Spirit, and a Wraith King tri-lane of some sort, with the Wraith King being a core and the Venge being a support. Now, yeah, Alright, there's a lot of options on the board. There's a lot of versatile heroes that can go in a lot of places, but Rhythm's draft a little bit more predictable as they pick up that Brewmaster, who will be heading towards the mid lane, and yet to pick up an offlaner. I think they'll probably be picking up an offlaner. Slark is not a hero that's fantastic. Well, yeah. Slark is very good on the safe lane, but he's not incredible on the off lane. He doesn't thrive as well as he could, so I think running him on that one position is a little bit better. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, as I said earlier on, that potential for a level 1 Roche is pretty much gone now. You can't do the level 1 Roche with the Slark and the Brewmaster. It just doesn't work. They don't have abilities that can really heavily take advantage of that, so it's just going to be, they're just going to play this out safe. I think with the Witch Doctor and the Treant, they could have, but not going to be the case here, not going to be the case. So getting into the last bans here, both teams going to be looking to take out whatever they think the enemy team's going to be using, and Regicide going to ban out whatever offlaner they really feel could be a lot of trouble for them. I think, yeah, Puck is a really good ban. I was going to say Puck or Magnus would have been really good, and we might even still see a mag from Rhythm, but it does put them at a pretty big disadvantage in the fact that they will only have the single ranged hero, so something to look out for. But yeah, I think Puck actually would have been a fantastic pick for them. You can get the Dream Coil into the Overgrowth, into, you know, Cask and Brewmaster Ultimate. You can cause a lot of havoc with the combo like that, and, you know, Magnus fills a very similar role, so would Tidehunter, but, you know, I don't think any of them do it quite as well as Puck would. So now, banned from here from Rhythm, and I think this is going to be a really hard ban to make, and they go with the Storm Spirit. Understandable, I guess, but... yeah, like I said, Regicide's draft is kind of all over the board. They're going to go with a Skywrath, so I actually have no clue what they're trying to do now. There's a lot of options here. There's a lot of options. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to have a Skywrath Mage mid, we're going to have the Mirana on the off lane, and then Wraith King, Vengeful Spirit, and Sand King together. Now, there's a huge amount of variations that can come out of this as well. You can also put the Mirana mid, you can put the... sorry, no. I was going to say, you can do dual lanes with this as well. You can run the Sand King Mirana together and the Wraith King Bench together, and these combos work really, really well on their own. And then send the Skywrath mid, and you can actually abuse lanes pretty heavily if you do it that way. But that said, your dual lane versus tri-lane is going to be a little bit sloppy. I mean, the Treant, the Witch Doctor, and the Slark are going to beat whichever duo they come up against. I mean, a Burrow Strike into Arrow is only going to do so much against, you know, two heroes with heals and another hero with a purge. And the Bristleback is going to be the selection from Rhythm, so not going to go with that kind of team fighty hero that I was mentioning before. However, Bristleback is still really obnoxious in the fact that he can kind of just chase people down and blow them up. And, you know, there's not a lot of armor on this team, so the stripped armor from the Quill Spray is really going to matter. It's going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to, you know, make these heroes really hurt. And when Slark pounces in there with the negative armor, you can bet he's going to be doing huge amounts of amplified damage. So anyways, getting into the game here, let's introduce the teams. We got Shenanigans playing over here on Team Regicide as the Sand King. We've got Vinci going to be taking up that Wraith King. Veggie's going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. Lieutenant, is that Lieutenant? LL? Lieutenant Howie going to be taking the Mirana. That's what I'm going to call him. I might be mispronouncing that, but G going to be taking the Skywrath Mage off towards the mid lane. Over on the side of Team Rhythm, we've got Lakai going to be taking that Brewmaster towards mid. Smoker going to be playing the Slark. One Asian going to be playing that Witch Doctor. Gaddy Ice going to be taking the Treant Protector, and up towards the offlane we got All Manwich playing that Bristleback. So, how are they playing this? Okay. Wait, what? Slark offlane and then aggro. Okay, all right. So I think they're actually anticipating the aggro tri-lane right now, so they're rotating the Slark out towards the off-lane, because Slark fares really well in a 1v1 matchup. Like, that is one thing that Slark is absolutely amazing at, is just 1v1ing, because Essence Shift is so good, you steal people's stats, you mess them up, and so they're going to send the Bristleback down towards bottom. Now, Treant runs into 3 of them, and oh man, if they had just gone on him, he would have been toast. I don't think they realized how far back the rest of Team Rhythm was, but if they did, he could have been in for some hurting. So something to look out for. The battle begins. All right, so as we get underway here, the rune does not spawn bottom, and Lieutenant Howie is going to find himself a illusion rune up top. All right. Starting with a bit of an odd build, but that does get him his Wraith Band once he gets up to lane and gets a couple last hits under his belt. So I guess that's going to work out. So we're going to have a Skywrath versus a Brewmaster, and this is going to be a really rough lane for Brewmaster. Now, normally against a ranged hero, Brew can just kind of chase him down, and, you know, if they try to fight him and poke him down, he just does too much burst damage with Thunderclap. But in this case, G can just stay really far back and spam that Arcane Blast and just keep him at a distance. I mean, there's not much Brewmaster can do until the creep wave is back in his territory. So definitely going to be an interesting laning phase. I'm liking this so far. So we do have the The Venge, the Wraith King, and the Sand King, and all of these heroes together are going to cause a lot of trouble. But, you know, can they do enough? This is like one of the beefiest tri-lanes I've ever seen in my life. The Treant, the Witch Doctor, and the Bristleback. I mean, none of these heroes are ever going to die. Your best chance is to go on the Witch Doctor, and even then, you can just give him Treant armor, and the Bristleback will be doing damage the whole time. Like, it's going to be really, really hard for Regicide to punish this lane. And, I mean, Treant doesn't even need to be there. He's stacking and pulling, and he can just throw the Treant armor whenever he needs it. And, I mean, you can see right now, like, they know it's 2v3, but they're not going. They've got no way to go. They've got no reason to go. Well, I mean, they've got reason to go. They want to get kills, but they just can't. In the mid lane, we got a bit of a brawl here. Brewmaster jumping in, and like I said, this is what I was talking about with just the damage that Brewmaster can dish out, because once he gets on top of somebody, he slows him, he gets a crit, and he does, like, you know, half their health in a single burst. But I think if G plays this right, once he gets his bottle out and he just starts spamming that Arcane Bolt, he can keep him at a distance and cause some trouble. Up on the top lane, Slark versus Mirana. This is a pretty straightforward matchup. Both of these heroes going to be doing pretty darn well against each other. I think Slark has the minor advantage here, but we got a Wraithfire Blast going out on the Treant Protector. They're going to follow it up with a Burrow Strike. There goes the stun, and First Blood will go the way of Shenanigans, playing for Team Regicide. So First Blood does go to the Treant Protector, and he didn't manage to cast the Treant armor on himself because he was stunned for so long. It's a lot of single target lockdown, but I think if the rest of his team was there, it would have been a little less of a brawl. Regen Rune spotted out by their Skyrath, so I think now is where he's going to start taking control of this matchup, because he can just like straight up spam this Arcane Bolt over and over and over, and like the second it's off cooldown, just spam it again, spam it again, spam it again, regen, spam it again, etc., etc. So, anyways, this is going to be interesting. Sand King moving over here, going to see if he can spot out a pull or anything. There is nothing coming across. They do have a Sentry Ward blocking this out as well, so, yes, yeah, there's a Dire Sentry Ward. I always mess up my wards when I see the color, I don't know why, but yeah, you can already see Brewmaster pretty low. He does have a lot of regen though, so once he gets too low, he can pop that salve off and he'll be okay. Now, for those of you unaware, the interesting interaction between Slark and Mirana is that Mirana's Leap is one of few relocation abilities that will not pull you outside the range of Pounce, of the Pounce leash. So if Slark pounces you, you have to wait until the leash wears off before you can actually leap. So in doing that, you end up... so Slark kind of has the advantage because he can hold Mirana down in one spot. But a good Mirana player will not panic. She'll get leapt and she'll sit there and try to fight it out for a second. And then as soon as that leash wears off, she can jump away and try to cause some trouble. Of course, she did lose a little bit of ground in that matchup in the last 6.81B patch was... What? Dives on mid. I missed First Blood. I'm so bad. Actually, Second Blood. No, I didn't miss First Blood. Ha! Alright, Treant looks like he's going to be in trouble here. The Sand King is nearby. The Wraith King is going to throw a Wraithfire Blast. There is a hole in the tree that he was trying to walk through, but anyways, throws the Treant armor on himself, and now we've got the Casket bouncing around like crazy. Maledict out on 2, and the Bristleback comes in, trying to make some of this, but the Treant does fall. Now looking for the Sand King. I think he's going to pop. Yeah, there goes the Maledict, and these two heroes now very much in trouble as he's spamming out that Quill Spray. I think we'll have to keep an eye on both of them at the same time, but I think it's going to be the Wraith King to go down first. We'll see in just a moment. And, oh my god, he turns it around with a Wraithfire Blast, and the Sand King comes in. They turn it around, they get the Brewmaster, but at the same time, Witch Doctor does clean up the Vengeful Spirit. So 2 for 2 engagement, I believe that was. No, it was 2 for 1. Oh, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. 2 supports for the carry away. Oh, man, Mirana. It's killing Slark. Looks like... Wow, looks like he was just pushing his luck there, and... Hit a Starstorm. I don't think he even got hit by an arrow. Arrow wasn't on cooldown. That's really rough, man. Better just try to pick a fight that he couldn't pick. But, yeah, as I was saying before, was that Slark's lost a little bit of ground in this matchup. Or, sorry, Mirana's lost a little bit of ground in this matchup because they changed it so that point-blank arrows no longer have a 2-second stun, but have a 0.5-second stun, which means that, you know, if the Slark is right on top of you and she turns around and throws an arrow, it's not going to stun him for long. It's going to be, you know, like 0.5 seconds, like I said, do minimal damage, and that's it. Anyways, Casket going to go out, bouncing between the two. They're going to separate enough that it breaks, but Maledict goes out, and it's going to cause a lot of trouble for this Wraith King for now. Not going to do too much, but we'll force him back. Sand King just dancing around here. I think he's trying to spot out the rune. Does he actually see this, though? I don't know. We will see. Anyways, looking towards our last hits chart here, we got Mirana sitting on top of that at 23 and 4, doing pretty well for us up in that top lane. Mid lane pretty darn even, 21 to 20. Brewmaster favored there, actually even now. 16 and 0 on the Bristleback, 11 and 3 on the Wraith King, 7 and 1 on the offlane Slark, and then just the stacking and pulling Treant with 4 underneath that. So, anyway, Slark going in on the Mirana. Oh my God, I bet you that's exactly what happened last time too. He just dove in and got double Starstormed, and it's that's the thing you got to worry about, is that Starstorm will drop a second time on any target on a single target that's within melee range. So Sark just getting in a little bit over his head, but now jumping in on the Bristleback. Look at how tanky he is, though. They're locking him down so hard, and he's still going to be able to walk away from this. This was what I was talking about originally with this lane, but not quite doing it. And this Sand King, oh man, if Bristleback had kept walking forward and spammed the Quill Spray once more, he would have gotten a kill, but not the case. The Moonlight Shadow was used to get them away from that engagement, but this was what this tri-lane was supposed to do, is that they jump on him, they heal him up, and look at this. He's back to full health already, no problem whatsoever. Just kind of took it like a man and then turned it around and actually dished out more damage on the backline than they did to him. Now, of course, it took a couple levels to get them to that point where they were all tanky enough, but anyways, we have a disconnect here from the Wraith King. Looks like he might have been lagging out a little bit. And, yeah, hopefully we'll get this sorted out. Scarith Mage now sitting on his arcane booties, so got all the mana to spam in the world, and I'm excited to see how this Skywrath pick plays out, because Skywrath is a very interesting hero. He does a lot of damage, but his crowd control is all very situational, and Ancient Seal is a very underrated spell in my ability. The magic damage amplification is absolutely huge, and you do so much damage with the rest of his abilities, but at the same time, he really, really needs a good start to get going, and he's always squishy throughout the course of the game. I mean, he's sitting at 700 health at level 8 right now. The Brewmaster, who is the same level with no items, has 200 more life than that. So he's a really, really squishy hero, and when you get these high damage abilities like the Thunderclap and like Dark Pact, and even just sustained Bristleback Quill Sprays, will really, really shut Skywrath down in his fights, and it's really going to be on his positioning to make sure that he's actually functional in these team fights, that he can get those abilities off and really shut people down. That said, if you play it out smart and you keep him back, and you keep him on the back lines and you spam out the arcane bolts and you get the ultimates down, he can be very, very effective. So I'll be interested to see. Like I said, there's a lot of single target stuns and lockdowns between the Wraith Fire Blast and the Magic Missile, and even the Burrow Strike on top of it. You'll be able to hold a hero in place long enough that the entirety of the Skywrath Mage ultimate will land. So we had a pause there, and it'll be cut off as we get back into game. Wraith King is back, ready to go, and yeah, there we go. Actually, Mirana hasn't gone for a single point in leap. That's pretty cool. Oh my God, that arrow! It landed. Slark is going to be in a lot of trouble. It's going to wear off in a second. I should try to get the Starstorm, but the living armor was there, and they'll get away from that. I think if Mirana had a point in leap and had leapt into that, she might have actually been able to get that kill. Treant's reaction was not exactly spot on. It took him a couple seconds, and I think if she got the Starstorm off and a couple auto attacks, she might have been able to finish him off. It is close, though. Anyways, Slark now has Dark Pact, so really doesn't matter to him. He's just going to walk back and get out of vision for a second and heal himself up. And now he's back at full health after that, and should be able to brawl a little bit better. Like I said, Mirana, no points in leap, so she can't really get away from him if he goes on her. And I think now this aggressive leap might actually work for him. It didn't the last 2 times, but we do have that going right now. He jumps in and actually just turns right back around. Not going to fight it up, and I think if he had popped his ultimate, he definitely could have, because there's not much that Mirana can do when his ultimate's up. She can throw an arrow, but like I said, that's just a 0.5 second stun right now, and it's not going to hold him down for long. He can turn it around and keep chasing, so. Anyways, Cascade going to go out, catches the Wraith King, and is now going to bounce between these two. It's locking him down, and what a nasty ability. Bristleback now in the midst of all this, looking for action, and the Wraith King is not 6 yet. He is going to pop, and there he goes. No reincarnation for him. And now looking for the Vengeful Spirit is the Bristleback, but he turns it back around, and oh man, they could keep going on this, and they're going to keep going. Go, 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 go! You got kills, man! No, there it goes. They jump in, and the hesitation, I think, cost Bristleback his life. Anyways, the Sand King is going to fall on the backlands there, looking for the Witch Doctor. He's jumping himself into the trees, going to pop off that salve, trying to stay alive, and the Skywrath Is he going to find him? He's got the TP. He can get out if he needs to, but yeah, no, they're getting chased by creeps and actually getting poked down quite a bit. This Vengeful Spirit is in a little bit of a compromising position here, and oh man, she's actually caught in by the creeps. Oh my god, those hero creeps doing work, and now the Brewmaster is looking for action, but he's not going to find it. A little bit too slow, doesn't have a Blink Dagger or even Phase Boots or anything, so he's down there. There is going to be pressure down on the bottom lane. Both teams looking to maybe make a fight out of this, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. 4 heroes down here on the side of Team Rhythm, and on the side of Regicide, just a couple left defending, and you know, this tower could be facing its demise as these heroes rotate away, not really looking to defend it. And you know, I don't really blame them. There's a lot of nasty abilities sitting on the other side of the field, so looks like they're going to rotate to mid and maybe try to make a trade out of it, but I don't know if they're actually going to be able to trade. This creep wave isn't that strong. They've got another one coming in, but they've only got 3 heroes there, and I think once this falls, do we have TPs? We have 1 TP from Witch Doctor, and yeah, so he can teleport if he wanted to. They still have Fortify, so they can keep this tower alive if they want. We're on a still no points in lead, man. This is the ballsiest build I've ever seen. And alright, so they're just going to send Trian Armor and Fortification towards mid and keep pushing down on bottom. You know, I don't hate this decision in the least. I mean, if they can get a tier 2 from for their tier 1, then, you know, I don't really blame them. And it looks like they're not even going to get the tier 1 as the creep wave is running out and Skywrath is left there alone. And now locking this tower down to about 450 HP. And they're just going to continue on. Brewmaster running forward, Balls of Steel. Now the Moonlight Shadow is popped off. Is there detection? No, I don't think there's any sentries on anybody here. Arrow going to fly, catches on the Witch Doctor. He's dead for sure. They should not be going back into this. But there goes the Brewmaster. He's going Balls of Steel. He gets silenced up. Can't pop his ultimate. He's going to drop. Treant going to run himself away from that. Actually gets slowed up, and are they going to catch him? Maybe they will. Wraithfire Blast is going to go, and yeah, this Treant's going to go down 3 for nothing. That was a really, really sloppy retreat, and Arrow going to fly in, not going to find anything there as the Bristleback has retreated along the lane back towards his base. So 5 to 10 your kill score here. Regicide leading the charge, and oh man, like I said, that was a pretty sloppy retreat. I think you could have gotten out with all of your heroes intact if you had done that right, but Brewmaster decided to go. Oh, actually, sorry, Witch Doctor was dead. He was done. He was toast. He was gone. But yeah, Brewmaster going in was absolutely foolish. Got silenced, couldn't pop his ultimate, couldn't make anything out of that. And then the Treant stopped to Leech Seed an Illusion to try to heal himself up a little bit. And just that was enough that they could leap forward and catch him. Arrow going to fly in, catches the Witch Doctor again. That's going to be a 5-second stun. I don't think they can follow it up though, as there's TPs coming in trying to thwart off this push. So we're looking at a 4v4 in the mid lane while other heroes do other work elsewhere. That said, Slark has... Oh, Slark rotated down here as well. So, sorry, Slark is in this lane, and Treant's just kind of doing his own thing. And, I mean, he doesn't have Overgrowth yet, so all he's really good for is the Living Armors anyways. So, going to be dewarding up here. Actually gets pushed away from the deward. You had to finish that attack, man. I mean, Skywrath is coming, but you can finish that and get away. Oh, man, I'm not... Oh, oof, oof. That was scary. He could have dropped. He very well could have. Anyways, they're still pushing for this. They want to get this tier 2, and I think they will with this push, as the entire team of Regicide is in the mid lane trying to push down this tier 1. And they're going to get the tier 1, but is it worth their tier 2 bottom? We'll have to see, because once this tier 1 falls, then Regicide really doesn't have much Roche control, which is something you always have to consider. Generally, this tower, if it's in deny range, I will not deny it, just because it is such a good place to TP to if a Roche fight does break out. Now, obviously, if the enemy team's like a push comp and they're trying to, you know, push down towers really quickly, I'll leave it up. But for the most part, you know, that's a very good tower to have, especially if you don't have your tier 1 mid. And thankfully they do, so they can sacrifice that for now and still make Roche fights happen. But if Team Rhythm knocks down this tier 1 tower, you know, this entire section of the map in here is pretty much uncontested. So, anyways, up on the top lane, Regicide now pushing in. The Mirana's been chipping down this tower quite a bit since minute 1 and has now brought it down to about 200 HP. It's going to be healed up a little bit by the Treant armor though, so and there is a full team from Team Rhythm here to defend it. So, anywho, all right. Yeah, they want to fight. They're looking for it, and Brewmaster hasn't actually gotten to pop his ultimate once. He's level 8 already. I don't think I've seen him use it. Got some fights. Slark's looking for action. He's dancing around, but not ready to commit to anything quite yet. And there they go. Creep Wave going to make its way up to the tower, and we might have our first real, well, 4-on-5 brawl as the Wraith King is still farming down bottom. Now he is TPing in, and it looks like they're ready to go. Regicide going to make a fight out of this, jumping right in on the Brewmaster. He doesn't have time to ultimate. Oh my god, look at that 4-man burrow strike. Absolutely huge. That was the Ravage Sand King there, and they're just dropping one by one. There's the Slark in the middle of all this, trying to make a fight out of this, but he gets swapped back, tries to leap away, and he's going to get caught out for sure. Wraithfire Blast, there it goes. 5-for-1 engagement there, and Regicide takes it convincingly. Absolutely beautiful execution there, making sure that the Brewmaster can't ultimate. Kept him silenced, kept him stunned, and made sure that he didn't have any presence in that fight. Of course, the Treant Protector still not level 6, didn't have an overgrowth for that fight, and I mean, the Slark tried to do what he could, but I mean, he's not doing too well right now. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of items, doesn't have a lot of damage, and just, I mean, the work that Ancient Seal did in that fight, and the Wraith King with his Wraithfire Blast, absolutely huge. Regicide off to a very convincing start and grab themselves their second tier 1 of the game. Now it's starting to look really good. I think Team Rhythm was looking decent with that push in on bottom. They got the tier 1, they got the tier 2. They're looking okay, but now I'm starting to feel it swinging back in the way of Regicide, and we'll take a look at the graphs in just a moment to verify that. And yeah, here's like I said, about 10-11 minutes. It was looking pretty even, but Regicide catches themselves a couple good fights, and it's dropped down to about 5,000 gold in their favor. On the XP graph, pretty similar story here, bouncing up around the 10-minute mark towards the even point, and then dropping down to about 7,500 XP advantage in the favor of Team Regicide. So off to a great start, and I don't know if there's much. Well, I mean, Rhythm has to get the game back now. They have to fight now and make this game theirs. They have to get smoke ganks off, they have to chase people down, and guarantee themselves a spot in the mid game, because Regicide is going to own them in the late game. Skywrath gets very scary when he has full items. Marana also a very strong carry, and Wraith King. I mean, we all know what a fed Wraith King can do. He is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, jumping in on the mid lane, there goes the ultimate from the Skywrath, and Slark just gets popped. There's nothing he can do. That Invis Skywrath really causing him some trouble there. So, like I said, Regicide looking strong, looking good. Gonna have to make sure that they, like I said, Rhythm's gonna have to find a way to really jump themselves back into this and, secure themselves a spot, because in the late game, I don't know if there's much they can do. Brewmaster falls off really, really hard in the late game. Slark is okay in the late game, but he kind of just doesn't compare to the likes of Wraith King and Marana. Well, I mean, he's okay against Marana. They're a pretty even footing, but there are just more late game heroes from Regicide. Now they're going on the Brewmaster. Is he going to turn around and pop his ultimate? He might get a chance to this time. Actually, he doesn't have mana. He's got to pop off some bottle charges or something. There he goes. Primal Split goes down, and the oh man, Sentry Ward, and actually no, that was just Fade Time. Never mind. But now Wraith King, not even giving a shit about the pandas, just fighting them down, and has no problem with it whatsoever. Sand King finds himself a haste rune. Don't know if he's going to be able to do anything with him. Also, I didn't even mention in that last team fight, but that frickin' burrow strike, oh my Jesus. Like, might as well have been Tidehunter. Oh my god, what? The burrow strike actually misses, but silence goes out on Slark anyways. He's not going to be able to get away from this, I don't think. No, there's no more damage coming out. Now, everybody dropping a little bit low, but the Witch Doctor is going to be the first to fall, and now the Skywrath actually drops 800 gold in the pocket of the Slark, and now they're turning it back around. So many heroes, so low. Great burrow strike. Epicenter going to drop the Brewmaster, chasing down on the Slark right now, and I don't know if I think he's going to be able to get away. He's got Pounce off cooldown in just a mere moment here, and the Wraith King is not going to have the Wraithfire Blast in range. Slark is going to be able to escape. Absolutely huge. Blink. Nope, not enough. I was going to say, it's fine. Oh, nope. Yeah, everybody pretty damn low, but Wraith King does have the reincarnation, and I think Vengeful Spirit, she's going to be fine dying if it means that her team picks up some more kills, because she's pretty much the only person that doesn't matter on the side of Regicide, and she's still making the plays, but, I mean, if she dies for a core of Rhythm, then they're still happy with that. Pressuring in on the tier 2 now, they're going to be able to take a good chunk out of this tower. I don't know if they'll be able to finish it off with this casket coming in and causing them some troubles. They might get deflected here, especially since the Treant Armor can help out in just a moment there. But yeah, so they're going to retreat for now. Did their damage, did what they could, and backing away. Really good team play by Regicide right now. They're all kind of on top of each team fight. They're making sure they're communicating. They know what's going on, and I'm really enjoying watching them. They're going to smoke up and walk straight down the lane, and they'll probably catch someone here. The Slark, oh, he was up there farming, but he thinks better of it and moves back. Is there going to be anybody coming up? Oh, man. this could be very, very scary. The Sand King, of course, leading the charges. He's got the most CC, and he has that Blink Dagger to catch up. And Treant going to walk into the entire enemy team and spot it out for his team. But it doesn't matter. The Brewmaster gets Bro Struck anyways. Silenced up now. Magic Missile going to land, and Wraithfire Blast finish him off. There it goes. The Brewmaster going to be the first to fall. And now the Witch Doctor Ultimate turns it back around. They do get a kill on the Wraith King, but the Reincarnate is going to bring him back up, and he's going to turn it back around. Oh my god, that Burrow Strike, absolutely huge. Catches 3, and now the Triad going to follow as well. Looking for that Bristleback, and he gets swapped back. I think, oh no, the Venge is going to escape with the stealth from the Moonlight Shadow. Wraith King jumping forward, looking for the Witch Doctor, not going to find him. But, well, 7-24 in Regicide. They have got a firm foothold in this game. They are pretty much in control of whatever they want to be in control of right now. I mean, I think the thing that they need to do to lock this game down for sure, to make sure that it is absolutely theirs, is get as many aggressive wards up as you can. Spot this camp out, spot up in here, and just keep an eye on everything in the map. Make sure that nobody can see any, like, you know, get sentries down so that the enemy team can't see a thing. And then get your own observers down so that you can see everywhere that they go. From there, the game is yours. You farm it up nicely, you can farm up their jungle, you can take Roshan, you can do whatever you want. And there's literally nothing Rhythm can do to contest it. I mean, their big thing this game was going to be their initiation. They're going to have the Brewmaster, who still doesn't have a Blink Dagger, but, I mean, if he had ever gotten a Blink Dagger, it would have been, you know, him jumping in, get the Thunderclap, follow up with the Overgrowth, blah, 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 Bristleback wreaking havoc, Slark jumping out on the backline, blowing up your squishies. But it just hasn't happened because they were so underleveled for their first couple fights, and they just, you know, under-executed. They got their heroes picked off in the worst of ways, and Regicide is executing their draft absolutely perfectly. And, you know, that draft being focused on, you know, single target lockdown and pickoffs. They had that, you know, the Wraithfire Blast, the Magic Missile, the Burrow Strike, the Silence, the, you know, the seal, the ancient seal. It's just doing work. Anyways, another Invis Skyrath. He's not going to find anything. That Invis rune is going to wear off in just a moment here. Wait, oh, Witch Doctor killed Wraith King. What the hell? Oh, okay, they jumped on him in mid while I was looking back at the base. My bad. Wasn't paying attention, friends. There it goes. Tier 1 tower going to drop, and TP's coming in. Burrow Strike, or Epicenter, is going to be channeled off. Burrow Strike on 3. The Slark pounces away, but oh my god, this is just so much damage from the Sand King. They're going to get the Brewmaster right off the bat, and now the Overgrowth is going to hold him in place. The Witch Doctor dishing out the damage, finishes off the Sand King, and now looking towards that Venge, who swaps herself into the middle of this fight, and is looking at a lot of trouble there. The Slark does finish her off. The Ancient Seal is up, and he's looking at a lot of damage coming his way. Marana going to throw an arrow, not going to land on anything. She's chasing it down, though. She might be able to find somebody if she's lucky, but I mean, hitting up against that Bristleback is not going to do too much. Is she going to find it? She's still looking, and oh my god, she's going to run into him in the trees. Oh no, just freaking Starfall, you get kills. She's still looking for auto attacks. There it goes, and oh, not enough levels in Bristleback to negate that damage. Look at this. He only went for the 1 point in Bristleback and went for the rest of his points in the Viscous Nasal Goo, which I don't think is the right call, especially when you're facing such a heavy, high damage, you know, single target lockdown team like this. You need to be able to sustain that, and the damage reduction is huge. I mean, an extra an extra 40 or extra 24% damage reduction at this point would be absolutely huge and would have saved his life in that engagement. But now Roshan going to be done, and you know, there's not much that Rhythm can do about this. Even if they did see that it was going down, they really wouldn't be able to stop it. They place a ward out right now, and they might have seen the Sand King walking in there, but what are you going to do, man? It's gone. And they're going to give Marana the Aegis instead of giving the Wraith King the 3 lives, which I think is perfectly acceptable. Wraith King with the 2 is damn well good enough, and he's only died twice. Of course, that's after the laning phase. What else do we got going on here? Mechanism, not quite completed by the Treant yet. He's got about 800 gold left to go. Bristleback has picked up that, Blade Mail. Yeah, in the jungle. There goes Treant. Just gets popped. This is a really dangerous camp to farm if the enemy team has control like this. And Bristleback eats an arrow. There it goes, and he gets popped. There he goes. Mystic Flare. That's the name of the ability I keep looking for. Anyways, Witch Doctor dropping really low, but the Vengeful Spirit swaps herself into a bad situation. She gets picked off as well, but the Witch Doctor does fall. Now looking for that Brewmaster. Can't pop off his ultimate again. Silenced up once more. Slark going to pounce himself away. He'll be fine for now, but 4 of his teammates all eliminated, and now Regicide has momentum in towards the tier 1 or tier 2 tower rather, and Mirana still has that Aegis, not popped off yet. So, hoo-wee, looking ugly, man, looking ugly. I'm trying to think of ways that Rhythm could bring this back, but I mean, this is such a huge deficit. 10k gold at 23 minutes and 15,000 experience at this point in the game. I cannot remember the stat, but I was casting with a stats man just the other day, and I believe what it was that at the 20-minute mark, no team has ever come back from in Pro Dota, no team has ever come back from a 15k gold advantage. So if it's that bad of a stomp, no team has ever turned it around. Anyways, Mystic Flare gonna get dropped. Slark gets popped out of nowhere. There goes the Brewmaster. He jumps in, finally has a Blink Dagger, and does get his ultimate off this time. And Mirana looking pretty sad right now, but she's got the leap away, and she is actually going to escape that. Brewmaster just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and oh my god, Sentry Ward drop. They're going to spot out the Treant, and there he goes. He gets popped in a matter of seconds. The Wraith King's still there to be able to fight this up. Brewmaster pops back into his normal form, and Reincarnate is going to get popped off. Epicenter goes, and there he goes. Is he going to be able to Burrow Strike? No, he just goes straight into the Sandstorm, and he is going to fall in the back line, but it does not matter. Mirana is still there, has not popped her Aegis off yet, and another 5-man wipe. I think we're going to be seeing a GG pretty soon here. I mean, 3 times the kills by Regicide at this point. It is just an absolute wipe. And yeah, there it goes. There's the GG. Rhythm calls it, and I don't blame them whatsoever. It's been a rough game, and they just didn't get to execute their plan. And at this point, their early to mid game team is just not paying off for them. So I think it's entirely reasonable to call it. So game 1 will be going to Team Regicide. And we'll see how Game 2 goes in just a moment here. This is the UGC Dota 2 League. I have been Cptn.Canuck, and we will be back in just a few moments for Game number 2. Stay tuned, and I will see you again soon. Cheers.